Joining us now is former Congresswoman, current contender to be the Democratic nominee for Virginia Governor, Abigail Spanberger. Congresswoman Spanberger, it's really nice to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So that's a little bit of a surface look at some of what's been going on in your state. I've been watching Governor Youngkin closely because I know he's a facile politician. He's good with words. He's good at pivoting. He's sort of nimble. He seems absolutely flat on his back when it comes to how to talk to Virginians about what Trump is doing to people in your state. It seems from the outside that that's changing the political weather in Virginia. But I wanted to know how you saw it.
Well, what I know to be true is the governor and the lieutenant governor, they're clearly not listening to Virginians, because everywhere I go across our Commonwealth, people are bringing to me their deep, deep concerns about what this administration is doing. I was at the grocery store with my husband picking up some last-minute items, and I had an IRS employee and his spouse come up and talk to us about their concerns. I was in a parking lot in Northern Virginia. I had a military officer talk to me about the impact he's seeing in his office. I had a military spouse in Hampton Roads talk to me about the concern in her husband's office. I've heard from medical professionals at the VA in Southwest Virginia worry that they might lose their job. I cannot go anywhere without having Virginians bring to me their concerns. And it's not just the federal employees who are potentially losing their jobs. It's small business owners. It's other members of our community and our economy who are already starting to feel the hurt and the pain of this chaos, or who worry that it is imminently coming for them. And it's outrageous that the governor is not standing up for Virginians or Virginia.
The governor is not standing up by saying, you know, stop doing these things that are hurting people in this state. Stop doing things that are hurting the economy of this state. Stop doing things that are hurting these individuals of the type that you just described. But the other thing that's happening, and this is a thing that I just don't know where this goes politically, is that you've got Governor Youngkin telling Virginians who are bringing him those same kinds of concerns. He's telling them, you voted for it. This is what we wanted as a country. This is essentially the good news about what we're getting from Donald Trump. Similarly, your likely Republican opponent in this governor's race, the lieutenant governor right now, has said Virginians will be all right. That there's nothing to worry about here. We're all going to be all right. These cuts are no big deal. That, to me, seems like a message that you might be able to sell in the media, but so many people seem to me to be affected by this in Virginia specifically, that it seems to me they're going to have to change that message. Or are people buying it?
Well, and Rachel, people aren't buying it. The reality is, if you are an NIH researcher because you want to bring your knowledge, your scientific inquiry to the cause of trying to save lives into the future, you don't want to have your governor tell you to get on LinkedIn. If you are an IRS worker who is gearing up for a busy tax season, you do not want your governor saying, go to Indeed. If you are a person, many of them veterans themselves, who work the suicide prevention lines or who work at the VA supporting their fellow veterans, you do not want your governor saying, no, it'll be fine. That mission-driven job that you've believed in, that you've spent day in and day out devoting yourself to, you'll be fine. You'll find something else. It is absolutely out of step, not just with the economy of Virginia, not just with our needs on the ground, but it's out of step with the fact that the more than 145,000 Virginians who devote themselves to public service do it out of mission. They do it because they believe in the service that they are rendering to our community and to our country. And the governor and the lieutenant governor do not recognize that service, and they degrade it when they say you can simply just go find another job. For so many people, this is not a job. This is a calling. This is how they give back to our community. And if the governor and the lieutenant governor are not going to stand up for those individuals who want to serve our neighbors every single day, then they should at least recognize the incredible economic impact that is coming if they don't stand up. The University of Virginia put out a study just this week. A 10% cut in Virginia's federal workforce is about 39,000 people, and it is $6 billion in lost economic output in our state. It is unthinkable what is happening, and we need everyone to be raising the alarm bells, ringing the alarm bells, because this is hurting real people and this is hurting our economy. And frankly, this is why I'm running for governor, because I want to ensure that every day, whether it's this or lowering costs or ensuring Virginia's on the path towards having the best public schools in the nation, addressing the housing affordability and the housing shortage crisis impacting our Commonwealth, or the real issues of safety in our community, I want to serve Virginians. And that means at times standing up even when it is hard. And that is all that Virginians are asking of our governor. We're not seeing it. We've got elections this year. We are running around our Commonwealth making clear that Virginians deserve so much more. They deserve a governor who's standing up for them. That's exactly who I will be. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to stand up for Virginians tonight. And anybody else who wants to join us, please go to my website, abigailspanberger.com.
Former Congresswoman and CIA veteran Abigail Spanberger, candidate for the Democratic nomination for governor in Virginia. As you mentioned, that race is this year. That is a 2025 governor's race. Representative Spanberger, I really appreciate your time. This situation in Virginia is going to be a really big cleaving into the state's economy and culture. We'd love to have you back to talk about it more as those effects become clear. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.